because, for example, in the case of Mexico, which is quite broad, there are companies which are very innovating and they bet on technology and they are up to date with the implementation of new improvements in their technological platforms. However, you go to governmental areas and you still find 2,500 routers, which the change, the total or partial change, is going to be our students are still being trained under a much broader smorgasbord of possibilities, which will give them a very important value-added factor.
Yes, I agree. I don't want you to think that this is our only source of information. In fact, two things happen. We take, this is why something like IPv6 came back. The instructors didn't say IPv6 was important. We think it is bigger and more important than that. So we do a few things. We have the certification alignment, which is critical because Cisco is very determined to make certification relevant in the marketplace for jobs, for students to get jobs. Certification is important. So the topics within the certification are things that we align to. We also do a lot of research, third-party research in job definitions and job skills that employers are looking for technology. So we talk to groups like IDC because the skills do the skills gap analysis around the world, and they have specific job codes that are created by companies we're looking for, whether it's networking administration, security, or those different things. So it's a combination of all these things which feed what goes into the curriculum. Of course, we are always challenged with being at the absolute cutting edge of technology in the program, because guess what? We can write the course in such a way that only ISR G2 routers can be used to teach the course. But then all of you have to go out and buy new hardware. All 10,000 schools around the world have to go out and buy new hardware every time we release the course. And we can't do that to the schools. We can't do that to the education system. So there's a balance to strike between what is the most readily available technology elements and what is the marketplace looking for, and what can we align to for the Academy's benefit to teach. So all this comes down to a set of decisions that we make about what goes into the curriculum. In the case of IPv6, this is some questions showing you IPv6 is going to take precedence over IPv4. How many instructors say that's true? Very low percentage. IPv6 may be taught along with IPv4 throughout the course at a level that would prepare our students for IPv6. That's what most people think. And then the last one was instructors who say that we're already meeting the minimum required knowledge in IPv6. So a little bit of a mixed bag on IPv6. What we know at Cisco is that several governments around the world are mandating IPv6 transition. And that's not the United States that's driving that. A lot of countries are driving this transition at the government level. So we're going to do something significant around IPv6 in the next version of the curriculum. Not just to align to certification, but it will closely align to certification, but we actually are going to extend those topics. Then we asked you these questions. This is about you as instructors, how you're doing things inside and outside the classroom around mobile applications and mobile devices. So you have mobile activities. So how desirable is it for you to be able to do the following? How desirable is it to manage exam activations through mobile devices or mobile solutions? To see whether students have taken exams, to check grades, to manage class activities, to view curriculum, to access study guides. And in all of these questions, above 3 being somewhat desirable, 5 being very desirable, 4 being desirable, it seems like the instructor population would like to be able to do more through mobile devices and mobile applications. When you ask the students, the numbers are a lot higher. Students obviously are very aggressive about wanting to both participate and manage their activities through their mobile devices, not just while in the classroom. Okay, so again, something for us to take into consideration is the mobility aspect. So this is what we're doing. We're going to maintain alignment with Cisco certification. It's obviously very important. We'll continue to focus on, at the CCNA level, in the CCNA courses, we're going to continue to focus on the core elements of routing and switching. It is networking. It is CCNA networking. So that will continue to be the focus of what you know as discovery and exploration. We're going to design these courses from a different engineering standpoint to take advantage of the new platform. So inherently, this version of CCNA will be accessible from a mobile device or mobile applications. Now, I said earlier that our entire curriculum is in Flash. And each course is a single Flash blob. We call Flash blob. I don't know if this term blob means. Blob is not a nice name, but it's a Flash blob. So how are we going to do mobile device accessibility with Flash? Because I use an iPad, that's my mobile device of choice, and it doesn't like Flash. And Adobe, the owner of Flash, is actually moving away from Flash. So what's interesting is we are not going to write the curriculum with an iPad version and a Android version and a PC version. And we're not going to write the curriculum with a PC version and a Mac version. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to take advantage of some new tools and applications that exist which will normalize a lot of our content across Flash or HTML5. And with HTML5, we have the ability to access that content through pretty much any mobile device or any web-based browser that you want to. And within the curriculum, when you see the animated Flash objects in the curriculum, where you see packets move between routers, not in Packet Tracer, but inside the curriculum, when you mouse over and get the pop-up windows of content, those aspects of the curriculum will work on a mobile device, not running in Flash, but running in HTML5. And all we have to do is change some of our graphics to account for that. So we're going to move in that direction. It's a big change for us, obviously. But we're able to do it also because we're going to share content between courses, and we're not going to develop everything as one large single course. So we're going to bring greater flexibility for instructors to tailor courses. As I mentioned, the platform, the ability to add your own content in the course flow, adding video, adding PowerPoint, whatever makes sense to you inside the course flow. And we're going to support mobile access and content delivery on any device. So if you want to read the curriculum on an iPhone, you can. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but you can do it if you want to. It'll be available. From a content perspective, we're going to include additional content on some of the emerging technology spaces. We're talking about video, data center mobility, virtualization, cloud computing. Those concepts are going to be incorporated into the curriculum in a more meaningful way beyond what's in the certification itself. IPv6 will no longer be a subject to teach, but the IPv6 content will be integrated across the curriculum in terms of how you handle routing. So it will be integrated in the curriculum as opposed to a module. We're working on what's core in the certification that alignment, as I said. We'll be expanding the Packet Tracer skills-based assessments beyond course final exams and chapter final exams into a rich set of SBAs throughout the curriculum. So there'll be a lot more skills-based assessments that you can use. The skills-based assessment is the best way to handle exam security. It's hard to cheat on a skills-based assessment. It can be done, but if you go through the effort of downloading how to configure your entire Packet Tracer skills-based assessment on your Discovery 4 course, and you go through and figure out how the skills-based assessment works and all the content, and then you show up in the classroom and do the exam, and enter all that information, well, you probably learned it anyway. So did you cheat, or did you learn it a different way? So skills-based assessments are something we're trying to enhance and also improve the information back to the instructor about the skills of the students, the mastery of topics by the student, and we'll be spending a lot of focus on that. We are also, I'll say this, although I made these courses the same way we've developed courses in the past. We've redesigned our functional quality improvement. It's not our FQA. We've redesigned the FQA process. We are, as I mentioned before, designing the course in different components. So today, when you go through subnetting and discovery, we authored the discovery subnetting lessons from scratch. And then when we did exploration, we re-authored subnetting and exploration. The difference between subnetting and exploration and discovery is not the technical content. It's the context. It's how you talk about subnetting relative to the workplace in discovery versus exploration, where you talk about the context of subnetting differently. Our goal is to author the subnetting technology content once and then use it in both places with different context. So hopefully that makes sense, but it's a complete change to the way we've engineered courses in the past. A change to the way we author, a change to the way we test and edit content, and it will also start to share a lot more of the packet tracer activities and labs across both pathways of learning, discovery and exploration. So we'll be able to bring more content faster and more up to date by taking this approach than having 8 full courses that we have to maintain. All of the packet tracer activities in this version are aligned to Packet Tracer 5.3, which is our next version of Packet Tracer will be coming out. So 5.3 will be the preferred application of Packet Tracer to take advantage of this with new capabilities of Packet Tracer. And we'll be reaching out. Many of you have participated in curriculum design and authoring in the past. We'll be doing the same thing. We'll be gathering people from the instructor community to help us with authoring, with proofreading, with editing, with all the stuff. That's how we develop curriculum, and we'll be taking that same approach in this version. So there's good opportunity to participate. Let's see how we're doing here. All right. Now, CCA Security is the newest version of course that we launched. So we have, we launched that in March of this year. How many of you knew that we had a new CCA Security course? Okay, it's good. Glad. So we've got changes in certification. We realigned the course to align with the certification changes. We have ASA content added in a new chapter of ASA Labs, so that's a change to the certification that we had in there. It also uses the CCP, Cisco Configuration Protocol, instead of SCM, so that was a replacement there. SCM is no longer part of it. And we made some other changes in CCA Security. So that course is pretty up to date. We're not going to need to have a major revision to CCA Security probably for the next year. So our priority is IT Essentials this year, CCNA early next year, and then we'll look at what we do with CCNA Security after that. And then someone's going to ask me about CCNP. So I'll get to that in a second. Just jump ahead a little bit here. I mentioned that we're expanding the use of Packet Tracer skills-based assessment. This is the feedback that came out of the same survey from instructors. Improve security for final exams on the Cisco exams, the package exams that are available on all the cheating websites. Ability to track student progress across activities, not just assessments. These are the list of things that we're working on. So we're making some changes to assessment along with the revisions to CCA Security. And in February of this year, we actually had some enhancements to skills-based assessment, Packet Tracer skills-based assessment. We added some additional forms. So here's what's happening in skills-based assessment. The forms that we use in the final exams and the chapter exams are out there. They're available. Students can download them and learn them. What's happening in the future of skill-based assessment is the students will have the same problem, but the elements of the problem will be more randomized. So the baseline addressing will have a different numbering scheme from student to student. So they can't just copy the addressing scheme. That won't work. The addressing scheme will be randomized. We'll change the locations of some of the configuration files, and the reference points to cities and offices and this type of thing will happen in multiple forms. Same exam, same knowledge principles you're measuring, same feedback for the skills-based assessment. The two students sitting next to each other, their exams will look very different, even though we're testing exactly the same thing. So this will help us with exam security. It won't matter. You can't study all the variation. You can't cheat on all the variation. You're going to have to know the stuff to get through the skills-based assessment. We're doing a lot of work to remove the repetitive nature of tasks. Even though in the real world, that's how things work. They're highly repetitive. From an exam perspective, we've done a lot of work to remove the repetitive tasks. And some of the scoring dependencies, which were creating some bad behavior, have been removed. It's also become much more reliable. So we have far fewer exam failures. The error rate has gotten really low, and the skills-based assessments have become really reliable to use. So I encourage you to continue to do that, because as we change CCNA, skills-based assessments, the package of skills-based assessment will be more tightly integrated into the curriculum. Remember, before 2007, this version, if any of you saw other versions 3.0 and 3.1 of CCNA, packet tracer was kind of optional. Most instructors didn't even use it. It was always there, but they didn't use it. It wasn't part of the curriculum. With CCNA version 4, we integrated packet tracer activities into the curriculum. So you really couldn't teach discovery or exploration without packet tracer. And what we're doing going forward is we're doing more integration of skills-based assessments integrated in the curriculum. So your measurement of student progress is largely going to be using the skills-based assessment, not the chapter exams as you have in the past. All right, so these are the exams that are currently available. I won't go through that list, but we are working hard to expand that list on a daily basis. Now, I've talked about in curriculum the specific things that we're going to do. Cisco, product development, networking academy is going to do. And we do a lot of this work, but we also leverage part of our partner ecosystem. And the other thing that we're moving towards is much more of a community-generated content incorporated into our offerings. So rather than Cisco authoring all content, we're going to do some things in our community to bring additional and better content into the program. So we do this today with translation. We don't translate everything. We don't have the language skills inside the Cisco team. We outsource to third parties some translation. We do community translation on other courses like Italian, for example. So we'll continue to leverage the community for translation of content. But we're also starting to develop some course content through community effort. So there's a project called the Voice Primer, which was a group of instructors working with our product management team who came together and planned an activity where they generated some supplemental material, content, and equipment bundle list so that schools who wanted to could actually leverage this content to align some of their students to learning CCNA voice content. And it was not developed by Cisco. We helped project manage it. We helped facilitate the interactions between the instructors. But the content was designed 100% by instructors in their time and on their pace. That's a good model for us going forward to engage the community for this type of content. We're going to be making it available as a Cisco offering. So it will appear on the list of things you can download off of our systems. But it is actually community-generated content. We want to do more and more of that as we go forward. So we have a couple of examples of this. The voice pieces. One, also, there was a cloud section in the existing community under CCNA, cloud discussion forums and cloud seminar files that you can download that are created by instructors that we've reviewed, we approve them from a quality perspective as well as a content perspective, and they're actually available in the community. So our new technology platform is going to do a lot for us. It's going to enable us to modularize our development approach. It's going to enable us to give some more flexibility going forward in how and what content is used and how content is used in the classroom. It's going to give us mobile access to some of the key activities that instructors do in the classroom, like grading, but also mobile access to the curriculum itself will be part of what we do next. That technology change is going to make a big difference in how we develop our courses going forward. We're going to be sharing a lot more information as soon as we have it available. We're working hard in the next 2 weeks for the virtual conference. So you're not wasting your time here, hopefully, but also you're not wasting your time by going to the virtual conference, attending the virtual conference, or at least registering it, and over the course